The Tejeros Assembly was a historic meeting during the Philippine Revolution that revealed both the hopes and struggles of the revolutionaries. It was organized to settle disputes between Magdiwang and the Magdalo faction, but it ended up creating more division. Andres Bonifacio, as the Supremo of the Katipunan, presided over the assembly because he wanted to maintain unity among revolutionaries. However, when Emilio Aguinaldo was elected president and Bonifacio was humiliated in the proceedings, tensions grew. This moment highlighted the deep rivalries and class differences within the revolutionary movement, as Bonifacio, coming from the humble origins, was often looked down upon by some member of the elite. This event is important because it shows how internal conflicts weakened the revolutionary movement and how Bonifacio leadership and dignity were challenged, shaping the course of our fight for independence.
According to Andres Bonifacio's own account, the Tejeros Assembly was meant to unite the revolutionaries under one government. As Supremo of the Katipunan, Bonifacio presided over the meeting, hoping it would strengthen their cause. But instead of unity, it exposed deep division. Elections were held, and the Magdalo faction strongly pushed for Emilio Aguinaldo. Wasn't even present. Aguinaldo won the presidency. Bonifacio ran but lost. Later, he was elected Director of the Interior, but Daniel Terona stood up and objected, saying that the post should go to a lawyer, implying Bonifacio wasn't even qualified. That wasn't just an insult. It was a public humiliation. Bonifacio, who had risked everything for the revolution, was disrespected in front of his peers. In anger, he declared the election invalid, believing it was manipulated by the Magdalo group. In the end, Bonifacio's account reveals betrayal, injustice, and broken trust. What was meant to unite the Katipunan became the very moment that tore it apart.
The Tejeros Assembly intended to settle leadership conflicts between two Katipunan groups, which were the Magdiwang and the Magdalo. This then transitioned from military strategy to the establishment of a new revolutionary government. Emilio Aguinaldo was chosen president, while Bonifacio was appointed director of the Interior. Daniel Terona challenged Bonifacio's qualifications, which led Bonifacio to invalidate the results and leave ABC. While Rizal's retraction on 1986, just before his execution, he supposedly signed a retraction withdrawing his anti-Catholic writings and reaffirming faith in the Church. The retraction is still disputed, with opposing accounts and lack of original documents.
At the heart of the Philippine Revolution, the Tejeros Convention was marked not just by hopes for unity, but deep division. General Artemio Ricarte, a key leader from the Magdiwang faction, offers us a unique glimpse into this pivotal event. According to Ricarte, the convention was fraught with tension and conflict, especially around leadership struggles. He highlights the tension between factions, particularly the clashes involving Andres Bonifacio and Daniel Terona. Ricardo's account challenges popular narratives, revealing the fractures within the revolutionary ranks. He sheds light on perceived injustices and political maneuvering that ultimately affected the revolutionary unity. This perspective reminds us that the story of the Tejeros Convention is not just about a meeting, it's about the complex human struggles behind the fight for Philippine independence.
The Tejeros Assembly, held on March 22, 1897, was a pivotal moment in the Philippine Revolution where Katipunan leaders gathered to establish a new revolutionary government. The author's account of this event shows clear closeness to what truly happened. He was either present during the assembly or directly connected to those who were involved, which makes his narration more credible and detailed. This nearness allows him to capture not only the sequence of events, such as the controversial election and Andres Bonifacio's rejection of its results, but also the emotions, conflicts, and tensions that unfolded. Because of this proximity, the account offers a deeper and more authentic perspective on Bonifacio's experience during the assembly.
The reliability of Bonifacio's account of the Tejeros Assembly comes from first-hand evidence. General Artemio Ricarte, who was present, wrote in his memoir, Hibik ng Pilipinas, that Bonifacio rejected the election results due to fraud. Since this came directly from an eyewitness, it gives weight to the account. Later, historian Teodoro Agoncillo, in The Revolt of the Masses, confirmed that factional and class tensions did affect the elections, which supports Bonifacio's claim, compared to Rizal's retraction, which lacks clear first-hand confirmation and remains disputed. Bonifacio's account is far more credible because it rests on direct observation supported by secondary analysis.
Andres Bonifacio's account of the Tejeros Assembly both aligns with and contradicts other sources. It aligns because multiple testimonies, including those of some Magdiwang members, confirm that the assembly turned chaotic, that Daniel Tirona openly insulted Bonifacio, and that factional rivalries influenced the results. And these points show that Bonifacio was not exaggerating the hostility he faced. However, it also contradicts other accounts, especially from the Magdalo side and Aguinaldo supporters, who argued that the elections were fair and legitimate, and that new revolutionary government was necessary to unify the fight against Spain. While Bonifacio viewed the election as invalid and disrespectful to the Katipunan, others saw it as a step forward toward a more organized and revolutionary leadership.
Although Andres Bonifacio's account of the Tejeros gives us detailed view of what happened, we must consider its limitations. One major limitation is potential bias. Bonifacio was personally involved and emotionally affected. He faced public humiliation and felt betrayed by the Magno faction. This emotional connection may have influenced how he described the events, possibly highlighting his own struggles and downplaying the perspective of others. Because of this, his account may not fully reflect the broader context or the motivations of the Magdalo faction. While it provides important insights into Bonifacio's experiences, we need to remember that the narrative could be shaped by personal feelings, which limits its objectivity and completeness.
Predictions in Bonifacio's account. Bonifacio's account of the Tejeros Assembly claims that the election was unfair and invalid. However, this is contradicted by other sources, especially from the Magdalo faction, who believed that the election was legitimate and necessary for unity. Most revolutionaries accepted Aguinaldo's presidency, showing that Bonifacio's rejection was not widely supported. He also insisted that the Katipunan was still the true government, while others believed a new structure was needed. His emotional reaction to Daniel Tirona's insult may have affected his judgment, and some historians suggested he overreacted. These contradictions shows that while Bonifacio's version is important, it doesn't fully reflect the broader view of what happened.
When we look at Bonifacio's story about the Tejeros Assembly, one problem is the lack of solid evidence. A lot of what he shared was based on how he personally felt during the event, his anger, humiliation, and sense of betrayal. While those emotions are valid, they don't always count as strong proof. For example, when Bonifacio said that elections were manipulated, he didn't really have documents or impartial witnesses to prove it. Most of the account we read today come from memories of people who were there or from historians writing later, and those can be influenced by bias or personal loyalties. So, while Bonifacio's account is very powerful and emotional, it has limitations because it doesn't provide enough hard evidence. That makes it incomplete, and it's why historians still debate about what really happened at Tejeros.